Oh, it gets a little tighter up here, guys. And if you swing real hard, you'll get around it. There's a hole in the left next to the big log.
Hey, Gleno,
Keno?
I don't think caravanners do this sort of thing.
No, generally they wouldn't, but we do. We're low ranges.
Oh, mate, I'll come out and spot for you.
Yeah, mate, that'd be good.
We got away early in the morning to make sure we arrived at Willow Springs Station at a decent time. This is the home of a very well-known four-wheel drive trek.
Before we drove in, I felt like we were sort of admiring the Flinders from a distance. But once we got into Willow Springs, I realised you are in the thick of it. It was a great property, unreal.
This is like an eye-opener going, how can something this beautiful be in the middle of nowhere?
I know Skytrek, and I guess the temptation was to go somewhere else where there might be a different adventure, but at the end of the day, I wanted to give the guys the best possible taste of the Flinders they could get from behind the wheels of their trucks, and that meant Skytrek. Brendan, your family's been here, well, in this place, 3 generations, and in the Flinders 4, is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, my great-grandfather started off in the area as a shearer, acquired a bit of land. When his family grew up, my grandfather bought this place in 1954, and the Reynolds have been here ever since.
Wow, yeah, 3, and another generation about to step in too.
Our daughter's going to take over the tourism side of the business, and our son's going to take over the livestock and run the station.
Yeah, so the station is still a working sheep station, which is what it's been since the 1950s.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, there's 70,000 acres here. We run about 4,500 sheep on it.
And how are you doing your mustering these days?
With great difficulty. Yeah, no, we use motorbikes mainly. When I first left school, it was all horses and dogs, but now motorbikes are so efficient that we do leave a few sheep behind from time to time, but that's just the scale of economics.
So good to see the bush life being carried on and that the younger generations love this country too. Right guys, well that's where we set the odometer. Zero it in, here we go.
So it's a bit of a long trek, I hear, John. What are we in for, mate?
It's about 80 k's I think, and it's probably the best taste you can get of the Flinders Ranges.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about Skytrek, and I'm glad we're getting the opportunity to do it, mate.
Oh, mate, this is iconic. You know, most four-wheel drivers have got Skytrek on their bucket list. I figured we'd better come and do this before we do any other adventuring. And to be honest, it's a pretty decent adventure anyway.
Mate, what about these pine trees? What's the go with them? I didn't expect to see them out here.
They're actually Australian native pines. Now the reason you get so many of these native pines is because the Flinders has actually got quite decent rainfall. Well, most of the time anyway.
They almost look like they've been planted there, mate.
How good's this gorge country?
It is gorgeous. The Kimberley is nothing like I ever expected, John.
That's great, mate, because I hate to be the one to tell you, but we're in the Flinders.
Oh yeah, I was just reminiscing. But this place is beautiful too. There's absolutely nothing like I expected. Nothing like it whatsoever. I can't get over it.
I guess all this would have been made over hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years of water rushing through here, John. Would that be correct?
Yeah, mate, yeah. All sorts of upheavals. Geologically speaking, the Flinders has always fascinated the rockhounds for a whole lot of really good reasons. As you can see, there's rocks everywhere, that sure helps. Oh yeah, and look, there's plenty of goats here too. But Brendan reckons that with goat prices up at the moment, the population's being kept under control. That is good news. Whoa! This is the one of those real scrabbly bits on Skytrek coming up, guys.
Beauty.
I'm glad we knocked a few pounds out of the tyres.
It's steep too.
I'll tell you what, it's a good thing we didn't bring the vans. I know you wanted to test them, but I don't know if we'd have got up this, we'd have to winch it.
I've done plenty of winching in my time, but winching a 4B and a caravan up a steep, scrabbly track like this isn't exactly on my list of priorities.
Ah, all right, that was fun.
Yeah, that was good fun.
Most people have heard of Skytrek in the Flinders. Rocky hill climbs, through gorges, through red cliffs, and the most amazing outlooks over the countryside. This track offered everything.
You know, you've got probably the steepest, rockiest, slipperiest climb is right at the end, which means for the new people trying it, you know, the mother-in-law who came along for the trip, whatever, you know, she's had a little bit of time to learn the fine art of panic before you hit that last track. Because the last track's a bit of a doozy. If you get it wrong there, you know, you could get it really wrong. Having said that, it's not something that our guys would be too worried about. It really isn't. Yeah, it's a cool track.
Oh, this is getting a bit scrabbly here, guys. A bit rocky.
Hang on, Wolfie.
This is cool. This is steep, but and rocky and loose.
But it's good. I reckon it's going to be a nice view at the top here.
You sound like a build track then too, can I?
Oh yeah, mate, I'm getting you bounced around a little bit.
I'm popping wheels in the air up here, it's cool. Oh yeah, the view's building. It's getting steeper though. Oh, it gets real rocky here too, guys.
I got caught in the eye.
That's a bit of a risk when you wear a cork hat inside an air-conditioned four-wheel drive up a steep, rocky track, mate.
And shaking it around.
They sort of saved the best for last in Skytrek, don't they?
This is unreal. It's good. Good fun.
Oh, this is great. This is what we live for. Tracks like this. And you know what? We're nearly up to 700 metres above sea level here. No, Milo hasn't got a gauge. It was in the brochure.
You right, Wolfie? You scared, mate? Tucked your head away.
These ranges look ancient and they feel ancient, and that's because they are. Around 500 million years ago, the mountains were thrust up, but over time they wore down until they were fairly flat. And then 60 million years ago, these current ranges were thrown up from amongst them with a whole lot of seismic activity. Makes me feel young, to be honest. Everywhere you look, there's very little signs of human habitation. It's that whole, ooh, there's nobody here but me feeling. It's a wonderful thing. We made camp at Willow Springs, and before the crack of dawn, I made a lot of noise to wake the others up. They weren't too impressed, but I had a surprise in store.
Oh, guys, you can't come to the Flinders and not watch the sunrise. At least once. At least once.
It's pretty specky.
Yeah. And from up here on the hill, I reckon it's going to be pretty special.
Yeah. It's going to pop.
Going to pop. It'll come up quick too, eh? And all of a sudden the day will go from being this beautiful, coloured, cold thing to this, whoa!
Cop this.
Cop this.
We had this vantage point that had 360-degree views. And the sun took forever to pop up, but once it did pop up, the whole place coming alive for the new day. And I was there to see it. It was absolutely brilliant. You come to Skytrek, you come to Willow Springs, you've got to check out sunrise.
Well, there you go. Time to leave Willow Springs. And it's time to continue heading north too. If everything goes to plan, then we should make Mt Serle today, and the sheep station, where I grew up. I can't help feel a little bit weird about that though. Maybe even a bit apprehensive.
Whoa, see the sign, guys? We better look out for camels.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to run over one of those. Hey, talking about camels, guys, you know what I've always wanted to do?
When I first walked into the camel yard, we had a bit of a stare-off. I'm sure it was a stare-off. They were looking at me, I was looking at them. I betcha they thought, who's riding who here?
Those poor creatures don't know what they're in for.
I thought it was fitting to take the guys for a camel ride since we're in the desert. Camels and desert, they go together, so why not get on one and ride it?
Are they air conditioned?
Yeah, seat warmers and everything. Any chance you got a helmet for Wolfie?
Has anyone told Keno yet that that dog's stuffed? With any luck, you'll fall off and hit on your head, Keno. Knock some sense into you. Oh, God, I'm stuck on a rope.
Get on, you bitch.
Oh, poor old Mona. I think I only did it because I wanted to see Keno on a camel. And Glenn. Pretty funny seeing the big fella on a camel. Finally found something that smells better than he does.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Thought you said you had a camel pack. I thought you meant like with water in it, mate.
We're in the desert, John. A man is not a camel.
Oh, mate, you can't put me through the bushes. Look, mate, I'll show you his boss.
The camel ride was actually cool. I've been on a camel once before. Keno specifically booked me on the big camel. He told him I was a large fella.
You reckon you could maybe do a chip and exhaust, you know, for a camel?
Look, the exhaust is already done. I heard it before. It's high, definitely high flow.
Mona here is a whole lot more comfortable than Milo. You don't want to trade on a Toyota, do you, Ryan? This is just that much better than Milo. It's not funny.
Wolfie told me he'd always wanted to ride a camel, so part of it was taking him along for the ride, and I think he enjoyed it. He got to ride up front, and him and the camel got along quite well.
Ryan and Nat, they love their camels. All their camels are pets and they love them, and so that's what you get back. Mona was just beautiful. Wasn't some nasty bugger of a camel that just wanted to stink the place out.
I think once they had a go, they enjoyed it. They were getting selfies with the camels at the end, and I think they really liked it.
In the Flinders, there's a fruit called the quongdong. A weird name, but it only grows in countryside like this. And it's a fruit. So why not? We had a pie, the quongdong pie. Who knows when I'll be through here again, so what the heck?
Okay, so it is edible.
It's good, mate. It's more than edible. It's really good. I don't like sweets, and I devoured it. Wolfie had a little go too. Wolfie wants some quongdong. Kind of a mix between raspberries and blueberries and mulberries or something like that, but it definitely has its own distinct flavour.
I'm thinking rhubarb.
Yeah, I reckon that's pretty good, mate. A good description. I'm feeling much the same. It's very nice, isn't it?
Yeah, so we headed into Copley and we pulled up outside the pub. I didn't realise at the time that that was the pub that John had spent a little bit of time sitting outside when he was a kid.
These bottle tops take me back. I'll tell you what, as a kid I spent a fair bit of time outside this pub while the old man was having a drink inside.
And he just asked if he could go inside for a couple of minutes just to have a chat to a few of the locals. So Glenn and I just sat outside and let him go and do his thing. A couple of minutes later he returned and with permission to go out to see where he grew up.
Oh, that was good, guys. I didn't sort of meet anyone I knew, but I met the son of a guy that used to work out at Mt Serle, which was interesting.
Oh, cool. Bring back a few old memories, mate.
Yeah. I just vaguely remember a stockman called Colin, and sure enough, the Aboriginal fellow in the pub was Thomas, his son. But I think I'm too old to have direct connection.
Well, now I've got local permission to stop into the station. I guess that's where it's at. Next stop, Mt Serle Station.
I've calculated, John, we've done 2,753 kilometres to get here, and you need to add 10% to that for my tyres. So we've done about 3,000 Ks.
And what a journey we've had getting here. Geez, we've come across some beautiful sights. The whole countryside is magnificent.
The mission for this trip was to get to Mt Serle. Mt Serle was the place where John spent the first 10 or 11 years of his life as a young boy growing up. Now, I've known John for a long time, and for the last couple of years there's been snippets coming through of his early childhood. Now, I picked up that he had mixed emotions about coming here. There's a lot of history here for him. He never really talks about it too much, but I really got the feeling it was going to be quite emotional for him.
I noticed a change in John. Usually he's very talkative over the radio and we have a chat all the way along, but he was very quiet. He wasn't saying much on the radio and yeah, we definitely noticed a bit of a change in him.
Hey guys, this sign up here says Mt Serle and there's a big intersection sign. I don't remember any of these.
We've made it. Geez mate, it's pretty special.
3 k's away.
Hey guys, when we get up here a bit, come on through and if you find a shady spot or something, maybe just pull over and I'll just drop over the hill and say good day, make sure we're welcome.
Mate, copy that, buddy.
Look at this, guys. This is a graded road. Wow. This is all new for me. It feels completely different, this bit.
Wow, no resemblance at all, eh?
Not at all. Getting pretty close to the homestead now, guys. I don't know who's going to be there, so if you blokes pull over, and I'll go on ahead.
Right, that mate. Copy, mate.
Well, this is interesting for John, isn't it, mate? Pretty emotional moment.
I know it's been pretty anxious to get here, mate, you know.
It has, yeah.
Oh, I remember this straight away. Used to be an old dog used to sleep here. The old dog's name was Puppy. Puppy never got around to getting a name. So Puppy was, oh, I don't know, I think she was 15 or 16. She couldn't see anymore, she could barely move, but she used to wag her tail every time anyone came close and you'd have to give her a pat. Oh, Puppy. And this should let us into the kitchen. Yep. Used to be a fuel stove here. I guess that's probably the vent from it. Cupboards. If you come through, oh, here's the fuel stove through here. Oh, okay. You can see straight away, this is a big place, you know. Big, big place. This used to be the station office, and if you have a look in here, here it is. See the old cellar? It's still there. I remember this. This is the bathroom. As a kid, you always had baths. You didn't have showers. Yeah, I know. This room here is where we used to sleep. This is where the station crew would eat. Not the jackaroos, they'd eat in their own quarters, but this is where dinner used to be. This place, I didn't spend, you know, in the great terms of life, I didn't spend that much of it here, but it had a real influence on me in a whole lot of ways. I thought this time, coming back, you know, bringing a whole bunch of friends and having a look, that I'd really feel emotional or something, but you know what this has taught me? This is just a place. This is an empty husk. You know, it's like the snake's skin and the snake's gone away, because it's, without the people, it's nothing. Without the people, you know, your home is nothing. It's not a home. Home's where your family is, you know? And that's what coming back here has done to me. It's I've got a lot of memories, you know, an awful lot of memories, but without the people, it's nothing. It's just a husk.
I get that big veranda around the homestead. I could just picture John and his two brothers running around on the big concrete slab, walking through the house, through different rooms. He was just touching on different places where his bedroom was and how the shearers were here and how the cook was here. It's good as a child. I know for myself as a child, I remember a lot, and I could see lots of things flooding back for him. And after walking through the homestead, we had our John back. Good on you, mate, for facing those demons. Whatever they were, you've patched it up.
Well, will you get a load of that? You know what? I've never, ever seen rain on Mt Serle.
Maybe someone's trying to tell you something, mate.
So I don't know, it's pretty special, though. I know that. It's Mt Serle. The mountain itself is a magical place for the local Aborigines. This place is also the only source of semi-permanent water and food too, so that means an awful lot. I knew there was a tough track up Mt Serle because one of my memories as a kid was of scientists who were running a sort of an observatory of some sort up on top of the hill. They had this Haflinger, which was this little two-stroke sort of buggy-like thing. I'd never seen anything like it in my life. And I'd had a few lifts in that thing as a kid up this kind of rocky trail to the top of the hill. And so I knew kind of roughly that it was up that end of the mountain. And I kind of knew that it went pretty much straight up the mountain. Well, what I thought was the track kind of disappears a bit into this creek bed, but we'll have a look.
No way in the world I could see a track to go through this place. I really didn't think that we'd find a track.
There's a steel stake there, a star picket, and there's no reason at all for it to be there, unless it's some sort of a signal or sign or what's left of an old sign or something.
Oh, look at those dark clouds behind you. We are going to get smashed.
This is the old track. Then there's a tree over it.
Is that it heading up there?
Yeah, and then I think it heads up there. So, but you see there was a star stake back in there.
Yep.
A piece of Land Rover up here. We're on the right end of the mountain anyway.
Yeah, mate, looks like that track got washed away a long, long time ago.
Yeah, well, you can see a couple of traces of track up the left there, but there's not much.
I didn't think there was a track there. Glenn didn't think there was a track there. But the way John was going, he was dead set certain there was a track there. He was like a man possessed.
Shift logs are good.
Bit of lightning in the background, Glenn. Let's get out of this creek, mate.
Moving, mate, I'm moving.
Flash floods are always a worry up here. It can be raining in another state and you get washed away.
Land Rover's out.
Oh,
I never saw a flash flood as a kid. I tell you what, if it hits you, you're gone. Get out of there, guys. Guys, I'm thinking this is the track here. I don't know how far we can go with it, but we'll certainly give it a good look.
It's certainly closer to Mt Serle than most people have been in probably 20 years.
Now, I'm still seeing signs of tracks up here, guys.
I looked at this mountain, and there's no way in the world you could drive up there. But his memory was so vivid. It was like a tracker. He just knew exactly where the track was.
Most of my life's been about finding tracks in the bush, one way or another, whether it was as a tour guide or a miner or you know, the work with four-wheel drives. It's always been about trying to uncover old tracks, and it's really exciting to get it right too, just quietly. Oh, I'm feeling Milo's pain here. Yeah, I'm 99% sure now this used to be a track. I bet that makes you guys feel real good.
it was steep, it was sheer, it was scrabbly.
Guys, I've pretty much lost this track. I think I'm on it, but all this spinifex overgrowth and that big rain cloud, everything else, I'm just thinking we've made a lot of altitude here, and I'm thinking it's time to turn around, if we can turn around.
Mate, we are so close. I feel like I've climbed Everest.
Yeah, look, mate, it's your call. This is your mission. I'm willing to do whatever you want to do.
Hey, Keno, mate, we've picked it up again. And right in front of me is the old observatory shed. What's left of it. Hey!
Hey,
We made it.
Welcome home. Look at this.
unreal.
This is the abode for the night. We call this the Mt Serle Hilton.
The Hilton.
Well, you got to admit the view's pretty special.
I'll have a rum, thanks.
That is unreal.
Mt Serle's the tallest mountain around here, and the first explorers climbed it so they could see what was going on. I think they were a bit upset when they couldn't see the resort.
The three of us have travelled a lot before, but what we're doing is we're exploring places and trying new things that put us out of our comfort zone. We're deliberately doing it, it's our mission, and we want to show you guys what's out there. And don't sit at home watching this and saying one day. Get out there and explore this country, because there's so much to explore, there's so much to see and do.
I had a massive bike accident when I was younger. I had a head-on with a truck and I was not very far from dying at all. And I spent 6 weeks in hospital, and from that point on I have lived every day as it would be my last day, because potentially it is. So I don't believe in thinking about tomorrow too much. Today is my mission, and that's what my life's all about. Pushing myself to the limit and enjoying my life while I have it.
Every trip I've ever made, every adventure I've ever had, in a life full of them, has banged a few lessons in, you know, and sometimes the lessons take decades to come to the surface. This time around it was almost instantaneous. The lesson I learnt was that family and home is not a geographical location, it's not a house, it's people. And my home is where the handbrake and the kids are. That's my home.
Are you ready?
Are we ready?
No. That's just for comedy reasons. You spat on your hat. I've got a bone to pick with you.
A bone to pick with me?
Yes.
What did I do?
Mate, didn't take you long to polish that one off,
Oh,
did it?
no.
Hey. Good thing he couldn't run any quicker. Hang on, someone put a piece of cardboard in me.
Bit more upbeat.
Not that upbeat, though.
This is Mona. This is John's camel. Now don't harass Mona, because we don't want her to bolt on John, because I don't think he'll be able to hang on.
Gee, they're big nuts, aren't they, Keno? Yeah.
Looking just a little bit more perky.
Yeah.
And pretending the photographer did not just run.
8C for runt.
Gleno to the rescue, Keno.
Oh, thank you, soft edges. Want a shape?
3, 1. And I've rolled the window up. This is so Gavin doesn't pop rivet my testicles to the seat.
If you want a shape.
Hey, Gleno! I bet he's got the bloody air conditioning on, listening to something on the stereo.
See you later, I've got to go do some work.
She's very patient. I wish we could graft some of this patience into our producer.
Yeah.
Gee, it was good. It was just great.
Oh, good. Finally, someone got Ken to the orthodontist and sorted out his teeth.
Gee, it was good.
Okay, we might head down if you guys just want to.
The old suspension's all right on her. I'm going to be all buff, and I'm going to come out on these trips. I'm going to take my shirt off and prance around like this.
Somewhere to pull over there, we'll just see whether we need to get a shot of that.
Okay, rolling.
Ow!
There you go, mate. Now you can see the view a bit better.
We are going to get hammered. Lots of H2O.
Yeah, John tied my tongue in a knot.
Milo on 11, let's go.
I think I've told too much in one hit.
But lo and behold, a little bit further on, a fly just went straight up my nose.
Besto is besto.
But I can tell after he did it, he was on planet 9. It's the planet after planet 8 and before planet 10. It's a special planet. That's the one. Yeah, no, I knew it was something 9. I'm going, there's something 9.